it's Lori here. I am stopping in today to share how to make a quick, clean, and simple Christmas card. Today we're going to be using Beautiful branch from Altenew. This is one of my favorite sets. It's kind of a holly branch. It may look a little intimidating. There are 8 steps to this, but as a clean and simple stamper, I can tell you it's worth it. I've got a little tip to make it just a little bit easier for you. So what you need to make this card is a beautiful branch. You need a card front and a card base, and I'm adding a red card base in just to add in a pop of color. You'll need your misti. I've got 3 colors of ink. We've got frayed leaf, forest glades, and evergreen. And then we're gonna do pink pearl, heartbeat, vineyard berry, and I've chosen a dark brown. This is mocha. You'll need these 7 inks to create the holly branch. To get started, I've already heat embossed the sentiment Season's Greetings from the stamp set on my card front in gold embossing powder. Now I'm going to place the card front into the misti and add the magnet to hold that panel down. On the back of every stamp set, there's a layering guide, and it shows you what order to stamp the images. And on the front, there is an order. They're numbered 1, 2, 3, and so on. I'm going to change up one step in the layering guide just to show you an easier way to line up some of the images. The first thing we're going to do is go with step 3. By adding in the darkest stamp first, it's easier to line up the first 2. So let me show you. I want the holly to curve around the sentiment, so we're going to lay this just like this with the S in between the top 2 leaves. I'm going to ink this up with evergreen. It's a really nice dark ink, and it adds a lot of shading. You can see too that that is stained and it's a little harder to see through. So now we're going to go back and add in step 1. This way you can look through and see that shaded piece and add that first step, and it's just so much easier. It lines up nicely with that shaded area. For this color, we'll use the lightest frayed leaf. I'm going to add one more layer of color just to give it a nice solid green look. Now we're going to go in with step 2, and again, it just makes it so much easier to line up since you can see through to that darker step. For step 2, we'll be using Forest Glades, and this one will show you that leaf dimension. Now you can tell that all 3 leaves are lined up perfectly, and now we'll move into the rest of the stamp set. The next step is the stem. This is step 4. These line up easily with the leaves. For this step, I'll be using Mocha. This is a really fine detailed image. You want to make sure that you've got the image inked up very well the first time. That way you don't risk any double stamping. Now we're going to move into the holly, and we'll do these in order like they are on the package. This one is step 6, and this is the solid images of the berries. There are 4 reds in the Tea Party set, starting with Pink Pearl and going to the darker Vineyard Berry. I'm going to take out Coral Bliss just because we only need 3 colors, and I want there to be a good contrast between the first berry color and the last bit of shading. So we're going to ink up Pink Pearl on the very first layer of berries. Next, we'll go in with step 7. This one gives the berries a little bit the darker color and leaving some highlights with the first light color. So we're going to use Heartbeat on this one, just a little bit darker to give it a nice berry color. The last step is step 8. This one is going to add some darker shading to the berries. And for this step, we're going to use Vineyard Berry. That gives a really nice 3-step red color to those berries, and they just look so pretty. I decided that I did want my card front to have a little bit of dimension, so I'm going to cut off 1/8 of an inch from each side. Now I'm going to add this front panel to my card base. First thing I'm going to do is add ATG on the back of the panel. And then I'm going to layer in a little piece of fun foam to add in the dimension for the card front. I'm going to add in some more ATG on the back of the fun foam, and we'll center this on a white card panel. You could leave this panel out and put this directly on your card for a little bit of color, but I want to keep it bright white all around. I'm going to score my card base at 5.5 and give that a nice crease with my bone folder. We'll add in one more layer of ATG to secure the card front onto the card base. You may have seen my videos before, so you might know my tip already, but the way I secure my card fronts onto my card bases is really easy. Place your thumb and forefinger on the side of the card and push the card front up against your thumb and forefinger to where you can see that you've covered each corner of the card base. Once you have that straight, you just simply drop your card front and it will go down nice and square onto your card base. I'm going to add one last detail to the front of my card. These are Altenew's metallic watercolors, and I'm going to use this pearl color here on the end to just add a light shimmer on the front of the card. To do this, I'm going to spray a block with just a little bit of water, get my paintbrush wet, and then dip that into the pearl. I'm just going to go back and forth until I have a nice puddle of pearl color here on the block. Once I have a nice thick puddle of shimmer, I'm just going to add a little bit to my card front by flicking on the card front. Once you add that in, you can give it a second to dry. It just leaves a really pretty sheer colored sparkle on the front of your card. So that is it for today's card. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope you're inspired to go make some Christmas cards, clean and simple ones. Those are the best kind for mass producing and, of course, mailing. We have a flat card here that'll be perfect to stick in the mail with one stamp. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.